Take your life back. Take your life back.
Good morning. Welcome to Take Your Life Back with Ralf Friedrichs. Today we're going to continue on my Halloween track of either talking about drinking and driving, possibly talking about candy that might be laced, and also talking about Halloween drinks that can be made for your children during Halloween parties, so we don't have to worry about possibly whether it's you or other parents serving the wrong type of drink. So these are the things that we are going to talk about today. But first, as always, I'd like to give a shout out to Dr. Luis Gonzalez. He is at Starting Point His website is www.startingpointmn.com. The MN stands for Minnesota, and that's where he's located. You can also reach him at 844-414-8444. Let me just move this. I'm a little off kilter here. There we go. So you can reach him at that phone number. He has two sides of his business. His first side would be to, like myself, be an addiction recovery coach. Matter of fact, he was my teacher, and I graduated his program, which we'll discuss in a second. Like I said, his first thing is to be an addiction recovery coach. He will walk with you day by day, 24 hours at a time, from now until whenever, as far as your addiction recovery. He will walk from your addiction to your recovery. He will never ever stop doing that with you. He will also never ever talk about your past. We are not counselors. We are not therapists. What we are addiction recovery coaches, life coaches. We will work with today. This is what we have today, 24 hours. Let's work with that, and then we will continue about tomorrow. On his other side of the business, he also has the addiction recovery coaching program. If you possess professionalism, personality, and the passion, and also have some sort of addiction background, whether it being your own or whether it being a loved one in your family, you can go through his program and he can turn you into an addiction recovery coach. I went through his program and I am a graduate. I am a pure example of what you can do. But you need to reach out to him, and you need to call 844-414-8444. On my side of my programs that I have, which is it's actually one program, which is my addiction recovery coaching. What I do have is a website that is pure factual information on addiction and recovery. That website is www.clearviews.info. That's CLEARVIEWS.info. That website will allow you to read articles written by doctors, psychologists, and therapists. They are purely the ones that write and dispense all the medical information. I just put it on my website for you to view and to read. What I do dispense are my own videos. I have over 190 videos on my website. Videos touching every subject. Subjects as Halloween drinking data may scare you sober. Subjects as yesterday, the scary facts about Halloween. And a subject like we're going to continue, being the last one for this week for Halloween, it is drinks you can mix for your children during Halloween parties. These drinks are innocent, virgin drinks with no alcohol, like a program that I did many months ago called Mocktails, which are mock cocktails without alcohol. This is what I will provide. This is what I do provide on all my videos. If you happen to look at my videos and you don't see something that you have a desire to see, text me, 631-599-0218. Ask me what you want to see, and I will make sure, I will let my producer, Ralf Friedrichs, my wife, know to make sure that we get the information that you request, and then we will put it on video for you. But you need to text us, 631-599-0218, and if you don't know, or if you don't have access to text, you can email me at clearreform, that's CLEARREFORM, at yahoo.com. Go ahead and email me. My other side of the business is the addiction recovery coaching, life coaching. That is www.clearreform.com. I will also, like Dr. Luis Gonzalez from Starting Point, take you from your addiction to your recovery today, 24 hours at a time, and forward. I, like Dr. Luis Gonzalez from Starting Point, will never ever talk about your past. Your past is done. Those are chapters in your book that are finished. They cannot be changed. You can learn from them, but today, October 29th, you can start a new chapter in your book. This week, on October 31st, I will be starting my 53rd chapter in my book of life. I will be 53 on Halloween. It is never, ever too late to continue writing better and newer chapters in your book of life. The only time it's too late is when you're not here anymore. So while you're here, you make the right decisions, and you make the decisions that need to be made immediately, and you will have a better book of life, which we will discuss. But for now, we will discuss Halloween drinking data that may scare you sober, or at least keep you home. Now, these are things that I came across on the website, and I want to bring them directly to you again. Halloween is no longer just for kids' holiday. According to the National Retail Federation, over 170 million people in the U.S. will celebrate Halloween. That's amazing. Imagine the consumption of candy. And can you imagine what is the percentage of that candy being spiked with something, which we're going to talk about in a minute, but it is out there, believe me. 170 million will celebrate Halloween, with 1/3 of those attending a party. And that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow, about those drinks. Adults have embraced the chance to dress up in costume and celebrate. And according to some newly released data, some may be doing it for a very, very high cost, whether it being costume cost or whether it being DWI cost or drug-related arrest. Some may be doing that. Alcohol Monitoring Systems, which has released data that looks into drinking patterns of alcohol offenders. They've monitored since 2003. The data takes a look at individuals with fairly high level of alcohol dependence or addiction. And when they do drink, the consequences often include jail time. So would be imbibing in a blood orange martini or some eyeball punch really be worth it? According to AMS, apparently a surprising number decide the answer is yes. It is worth it? I don't think so. AMS has monitored 255,000 offenders in 48 states, and consistently Halloween shows an uptick in violations. I bet you New Year's Eve is right up there too. A statistically significant one. For a midweek Halloween, the data predicts 20.4% increase in the number of violations this Friday, I should say. And for the weekend prior, which was the last weekend known as Halloween weekend, AMS expected 25% increase in drinking over the average rate of weekend violations for the rest of the year. And those are individuals who know they're being monitored. They know Big Brother is watching them. Every 30 minutes, they know they're going to be caught, and they know they will be a substantial consequence to pay, whether it's a fine, jail time, or worse, death. So imagine what happens with heavy drinkers or drunk drivers who aren't monitored. Now, if these are the statistics for people that know they're being monitored and are being monitored, imagine the ones that aren't. According to AMS, an average of 99.3% of all individuals they monitor on any given day have a completely sober day. That means no drinking, no tampers, no violations, and that makes the 20 to 25% increase particularly significant. Drunk people generally make poor decisions, and deciding to get behind the wheel of a car is just one of the potential issues that this country faces. In 2010, Halloween fell on a Sunday, and according to National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, 41% of all highway fatalities over the Halloween weekend, Friday evening through Monday morning, involved a driver or motorcycle rider with a BAC, which is the alcohol level, of 0.08 or a higher amount. The littlest trick or treaters. There is never a good night to drink and drive, but with the U.S. Census Bureau estimated that 41 million kids will be out trick-or-treating this year. Halloween is a holiday that warrants extra care when traveling to and from your Fright Fest. Please make a plan for getting home safely before you go, rather than deciding after you've been drinking. Come up with an action plan in a sober mind, but more importantly, don't even bother drinking and driving. A taxi or a friend is your answer. Enforcement agencies throughout the country are taking impaired driving on Halloween seriously, and many will be running outside sobriety checkpoints in conjunction with Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaign against the individuals. There is no mask or costume that will protect you from the inconvenience, high cost, and trauma that comes with drunk driving, arrest, or crash, or, which you won't even know about, your death. Is that enough to scare you sober? Because if it isn't, I don't know what else to read. There is candy out there that is so dangerous for children that looks like regular candy, and I will post some of the pictures on this video, or at least one, that looks like regular candy, such as vodka-laced gummy bears, lollipops laced with crack and cocaine. There's a thing called Ace's Wild sugar-free hash candy. It comes in a 100 milligram 4-pack. There's 25 pieces in there. It is available in variety packs, same great taste and potency as original Ace's Wild, but made especially for those who need a sugar-free diet. So now, laced candy is not only coming with some sort of drug, and some of these are actually legally sold in Colorado for medical use, but now they're making sugar-free. Some of the flavors include pineapple, apple, passion fruit, and pomegranate. This product is infused with medical marijuana and was produced without the regulatory oversight for health, safety, or efficiency, and there may be health risks associated with consumption of this product. For licensed medical marijuana patients only, but yet, and I repeat, yet, it is being given out on Halloween to children. It might be given out to Halloween to children by patients that already have this in their home. Levels of active components of medical marijuana reported on product labels are not subject to independent verification and may differ on actual levels. You need to keep this out of the reach of children. If for whatever reason you take medical marijuana for medical reasons, keep them out of the reach of your children, and certainly do not give them out on Halloween to other children. Those candies need to be locked away in a safe. I talked about this, and I haven't mentioned it in a while, but here I go. We have a legal drug dealer living in our home that you legally allow to dispense drugs. The only way you can prevent that from happening is if you take any addictive drug out of your legal medicine cabinet. I call him Mr. Medicine Cabinet. He is the legal drug dealer in your home. He might be having drugs like painkillers. He might have some snorting inhalants that are for medical purposes only in that medicine cabinet that you have not removed, knowing that you might have children in your house, or you have any addictive person in your house that has an addictive personality. So you need to eliminate this, and it needs to be done quickly. Mr. Medicine Cabinet should not be allowed to have any sort of medicine in there that is addictive to anyone, including yourself and your children. Some parents are worried their kids may come home with something dangerous after trick-or-treating this Halloween. Some parents are afraid of marijuana-infused candy. In Colorado, on January 1st, they legalized the sale of recreational pot, and foods like chocolates, mints, gummy bears infused with marijuana quickly became bestsellers, accounting for as much as 45% of sales in some pot shops. They literally have, like we have a dollar store and we have a supermarket, they have stores called pot shops. But once unwrapped, the candies are hard to tell apart from their non-infused counterparts, and that has some people worried. Police in Denver have issued a video alert highlighting the similarities between regular and marijuana candy. I'd like to see that video. There's really no way a child or a parent or anyone, even an expert in the field, can tell whether the product is infused or not until they take it. This is coming from Patrick Johnson, the owner of Urban Dispensary in Denver. And he testified this on the police video. Marijuana candy is real concern, said Rachel O'Brien of Smart Colorado, a lobbying group working to keep pot out of the hands of children. Parents don't know, many parents don't know, marijuana is in candy. We see this problem and we don't believe it's blown out of proportion. And we do believe marijuana in candy appeals to children. And this is where it all starts, and we're going to talk about this, but this is where it starts. Young. If they don't like something you're familiar with, it's best just to toss it out into the trash can. If it doesn't smell or look right, toss it. If it looks like the package has been tampered with whatsoever, we should use those practices we've been using since I was a child. Do you remember when we had these scares with razor blades and the apple and whatever else that might have happened in the 70s and 80s? Well, if, as role models, we need to inspect this candy, and we need to make sure that we, as such, and make sure that nothing has been compromised. No wrapper, no envelope, no nothing was compromised. It's best to dispose of that candy if it has been. I think the only ones that will be upset about it will be the children's dentist. And who cares about them? Nothing personal to my dentist friends, but I'm just saying who cares, because this is for the safety of children. It truly is. Halloween drinking data may scare you sober or at least keep you home. You heard the statistics. There are 255,000 offenders in 48 states that know they are being monitored, yet 20% of those people have some sort of infraction during Halloween. Why is that? Why is it that every 30 minutes during Halloween there is at least one person that is being monitored by the police or the courts still ends up in jail for a DWI or DWI? Don't know why. How do you prevent that? I personally think the only way is that every car that is being made, and I know people are going to say the prices would be jacked up astronomically, but can you imagine, in a perfect world, which we're not, that if every car had the breathalyzer lock built into the car itself, with some sort of DNA pattern. In other words, nobody can use the car unless they already have breathed into this, and there's a DNA comparison to verify that that breath belongs to that particular owner who has issues. I don't know, it sounds far-fetched. I'm just thinking, put my thinking cap on here. And this is what we have to do as humans. We all have to put our thinking cap, whether it's out there like my solution might be, but it's all the thoughts by all the people that eventually will come up with the right solution. The littlest trick-or-treaters. There's never a good time, a good night to drink and drive, nor should you ever even consider it. But during Halloween, there's an average of 41 million kids on our streets. So if you're going to go and drink and drive, just make plans not to do that, but to take a taxi or get a designated driver. And we need to be careful about those candies that are out there. There are chocolates, there are candies, there are lollipops that are laced with marijuana, with hash, and whatever else that might be out there. But it's out there. Excuse me 1 second. Sorry about that, folks. That was my cat. But we need to pay attention. We need to double check each and every candy that our children come home with. We need to double check them. We need to double check to see what it looks like. We need to double check to see if the packaging has been compromised. If it's open, if it looks suspicious, get rid of it. Get rid of it. Just toss it. That's what we need to do as parents. That's what we need to do as good role models. Speaking of role models, how are you as a role model? I'm talking to you, mommy, daddy, grandma, grandpa, legal guardian. How are you as a role model? Do you smoke in front of your children or grandchildren? Do you drink in front of them? Do you use profanity in front of them? Do you physically abuse anyone in front of them? If you could answer yes to any one of those questions, my question to you again then would be, how are you as a role model? Because if you did answer yes to one of them, you're not a very good role model. Because a role model does not tell their children not to smoke, but yet smokes in front of them. A good role model does not tell their children not to drink, but yet drinks in front of them. A good role model doesn't tell their children to watch their mouth, but yet uses that bathroom trashy profanity mouth of their own. A good role model doesn't tell their children not to bully other people, but yet you're the bully in your own home by domestic abuse possibly, or physical abuse. Monkey see, monkey do is the attitude of a child. When a child looks at you, they look at you as the hero, as the role model. So if you drink, curse, smoke, or physically abuse, they think it's okay. Hey, mommy or daddy or grandparent doing it, it must be okay because they're my hero. I want to be just like them. If you answered yes to any one of those four, it's time to change. It is time for you to add a new chapter in your book of life. The chapter doesn't have to start on your birthday like it's going to start this Friday on Halloween for me, my 53rd chapter. It doesn't. You can amend the present chapter that you're writing, whatever age you might be. Amend it. Continue writing the same chapter, only now change from the old chapter or the previous writings might have included smoking, drinking, physical abuse, and profanity. Change that to now include, I love my children. I respect my family and my children. I want to show compassion to all of them, and I want to show emotion. The new chapter should include, I will not smoke in front of my children because I don't want them to smoke. I will not drink alcohol or do drugs in front of my children because I don't want them to do that. I don't want my children to curse anymore because it sounds terrible. I will stop doing that starting now in my new chapter. And I don't want my children to bully other children. So I will stop bullying my own family. If you start writing a new or amended chapter in your book of life, things will change. Not only in your own life, but they'll change in your children's life. Because now the hero that they've looked at, that has changed not in the eyes of the child, but in the eyes of society, because now the hero that they're looking at is truly a hero, is truly a role model. Get rid of these four things in your home: drinking, smoking, profanity, and abuse. Add these things, these four things: love, respect, compassion, and passion. Get rid of four, add four. And you will be the hero that your children sees. You will be a role model. That way, when you continue writing your own chapters in your book of life, you will also help write from when your children were born until they're 18 when they leave. You will help write your children's chapters in their book of life, which will include all good things. Don't help your children write chapters that include smoking, drinking, profanity and abuse. Don't help them do that. Prepare your children for society, because society will give you all of the above. All the negative things are out in society. It is up to you as a parent to teach and prepare your children to not only blend into society, but to stand out in society, to be above the rest. That is up to you to do. So why not today, October 29th, 2014, not only start rewriting your chapters in your book of life, but help rewrite your children's. Because if you act in a responsible way in front of your children, they will act responsible in society. But if you don't, they won't. And folks, there is going to be some instances where no matter how good of a role model, how good of a hero you were in front of your children, that your children will go off the wrong fork in the road. That is uncontrollable. However, you have the peace of mind knowing that you've done your best. That's what the difference is between a parent that loves and cares for their children and that doesn't. That says they do, but they don't. Tough love is tough love, but it is up to you to prepare your children for society. Teach your children about the drinking and driving, about Halloween candy that might be laced, or any other subject that I address. Tomorrow, the subject is going to be about, I think, 15 drinks, Halloween drinks, that have no alcohol, that will make your children's Halloween party a success. But it all starts with you, and it starts in your home. It all starts with simple things like appreciating when your children do good. When they do bad, let them know. And no matter what, make them feel that no matter what they can do wrong, that they can come to you with the problem. We always tell our children, no matter what you've done, come to us before the police come to us. That way we have an action plan to achieve a goal. The goal might be whatever the goal has to be to solve that problem. But your children should be comfortable enough to come to you with any problem. I always say this, it is simply the best idea to have an open forum at a dinner table. The problem here is that nobody has family dinners together anymore, not like when I grew up. And I understand that because the economy is as such where mommy and daddy have to work. I get it. However, why not have dinner Friday and Saturday and Sunday nights as a family together at the table? Innocent things will come up in an open forum at a dinner table that might alert you of situations in your children's life. Once you know there's a problem, you can help them. But if you don't know about it, you cannot help them. Make your children feel that they are special, not only to you, but to the world, to society. And if there's anyone that's watching me that has heard nothing from other people but things like you're no good, you're worth nothing, you're a complete failure. Guess what, folks? If you are one of those people that have been told this over and over by a spouse, by a family member, or even by strangers, you are special. You are so special because you were created by God. Although you might have an issue, and 99% of the people that do view me, that do have problems, it's due to addiction. That is a disease that can be lived with the proper treatment. But if those people are telling you no good, you're worth nothing, you're a failure, don't believe them. Know this. I think that you are special. I think you're good. You might just have a problem, but it can be worked on. Let it happen today, October 29, 2014. There are two things that you need to do to start working with your addiction, to live happily with your addiction. Number one is to admit you have a problem. Admit it to yourself. You don't have to go around and spat it out to the whole world. People will notice the difference once you start working on your addiction. But admit it to yourself. Then reach for your higher power. Reach for God. Ask Him for guidance and direction. Because you do need the guidance and direction. Why do you ask? Because your life wouldn't have crumbled to the point it might be as of right now if you had control. Stop denying you have a problem, ask for God for guidance and direction, and things will fall into place. Now, with those two things taken care of, work on an action plan of treatment. Try AA, 12-step program. Been around since '36. Help millions of people. Try to make the 90 meetings in 90 days. Get a sponsor. Try my methods. My methods are so simple. I have 16 alternative steps to the 12 steps. I have my website. I do my videos. I go out and talk to real people that have real stories. I have grown from hardly anything to a humongous amount of channels of information to not just you, my viewers on video, but in cyberspace. Social networking has picked up on my websites and has expanded on YouTube. Those are that is a method that has worked for me, and the comparison between my methods and AA is pretty simple. We both have something in common. We both seek sobriety. But my difference between AA is that I am actively involved every single day. Not just for a meeting, actively involved. Whether it's getting the information for my videos, then doing my videos, and then doing the editing for my videos. Whether it's talking to people, real people with real stories on the streets. Whether it's people emailing me, chatting with me. Whether it's working on either one of my websites or on my pages on Facebook. This is how I actively stay involved daily, to the tune of maybe 5 to 8 hours a day, compared to AA, which gives me a meeting for an hour, hour and a half. And I am not, and I repeat, not knocking AA. I'm just saying that it works for some, and for some other people like myself who need to actively be involved, this works better. I've always been the type of person, now I'm 30 years in the optical industry, but I've always been the type of person that will never ever learn out of a book. I get better to the point where I can almost master anything by doing. By working on my addiction through active participation, hour after hour, makes me a better recovered person than I could ever be with any other method. If that makes any sense to anyone, on the job training. I am so involved in my own addiction recovery that I have become selfish, possibly. But that selfishness keeps me going, keeps me alive, and more importantly, or just as importantly, keeps me in tune to provide you of whatever I have created. I do all these things daily, not only for you, but for me. That's how selfish I am. But together, we can all fight addiction. Together, you can go out and witness to other people. Let them know where you've seen my website. Let them know how to live happy with addiction. Let them know these things. I was on the phone yesterday from a gentleman in Guam who was interested in seeing my websites. My website has been viewed globally, and it is growing. And it's people like you that go out and tell other people about, whether it's my website or just your addiction stories, that help promote awareness on drug and alcohol abuse. Remember why I have two websites that start with clear. One is Clear Views, the other one is Clear Reform. Clear is the word that I utilize for both my websites. When I first hit rock bottom, I said to myself, I feel clear internally, I feel clear mentally. What can I do with the word clear? And then I thought, community lessons empower addiction recovery. It is our community here, maybe in the Hamptons, Long Island. It is my community in New York. It is my community globally that empower our lessons for addiction recovery. Community lessons empower addiction recovery. It is my lesson, your neighbor's lesson, whatever lessons they have had in their addiction recovery and in their past, by us talking about it and exposing and surfacing all our stories together. That will put red flags up for other people, turn the light in their head on for other people. And that's how we all come together as a community. Folks, when you go to bed tonight, we all wear slippers, shoes, or sneakers of some sort during the day, and we all take them off at night to go to bed. And we usually put them by the edge of our bed. I want you all, please, to take your slippers, shoes, or sneakers and push them under your bed tonight. That way, tomorrow morning when you wake up, you need to go on your knees to go and retrieve them from under your bed. And when you're on your knees, folks, I want you, and I ask you, and I beg of you to thank your God that He is allowing you another day on this beautiful earth. I say this, and I'm going to say it again. Remember, for every breath you take, there is someone that can't take a breath anymore. For every time you open and close your eyes, there is someone in your community or in the global community that is closing their eyes for the last time. For every thought, negative thought that you have when it comes to drinking and driving or taking drugs, remember there is someone that can't even think about it anymore because they made the wrong decision and they're no longer with us. Write new chapters in your book of life. Start today, October 29th, 2014. Make today the best day for the rest of your life. Let the sun shine into your heart and into your home, and you will get nothing but positive results. That I guarantee you, because a sober today guarantees you a better tomorrow. Eliminate all the negative naysayers around you. When I say eliminate, I don't say dispose of them of any sort. I am saying to tune them out. For the people that tell you you're no good, you're irresponsible, start today with a new chapter in your book and prove to them that you can change, you are changing, and they will see it physically on you. They will see your mental status is going to become stronger. They will notice the way you carry yourself and everything else that comes with sobriety. They will notice. You don't even have to advertise. They will notice automatically. More importantly, God will notice. Remember, when God created humans, He created us to start off life perfect. It is us as humans that take our own life and remold it, reshape it, and sometimes go down the wrong path. As much as it is God that created you, it is God that can help you recreate you back to where you were. Maybe not in age and in size, but certainly in purity. But you need to ask God to help you. And why not make it today? Why not start October 29, 2014, making a new day with a new chapter in your book of life? The chapter that will include love, respect, compassion, and emotion with your family. That will not include smoking, drinking, profanity, or physical abuse. That will include having family dinners together, maybe on Friday and Saturday and Sunday nights. That will include family game nights. I know in this world we all get boggled up in our own lifestyle of constantly on the run because society as such has become that way. The economy has caused everybody to constantly be on the run to make extra money. I find myself daily involved in situations like that. And no matter how many times I always say, let Sundays be family days and let family days happen, I find myself sometimes being on the side where I'm not even doing what I am telling people to do because I get so involved in my own work. Folks, when you work a regular job like everybody does and you have this on your plate too, you're talking a lot of work every week. But every day, every month, I am getting better at my time management and how to do this, which is super important, and how to also do a job. Eventually, I will master both. That's how an addiction recovery program works. Do you see the comparison? Eventually, you will become so good at living with your addiction. But like anything, like my program, like my work, in the beginning, it's a slow process. And the more you do, the better you become. Reach out to God. Say, today is the day I know I have a problem and I need to change. Show your children that you are truly the hero that they see. Show your children that you are the role model, that you want your children to be just like you. Don't say you want your children to be just like you if you're going to drink and you're going to smoke and use profanity and hit somebody, because you don't want your children to be like that. But if you're truly eliminating all those things and you're adding the other 4 things, show them that. Show them that today, October 29th, 2014, is a new person, a new you. Show your husband, your wife, parents, children, but more importantly, show God that you want Him to help change you. Like I say every time, let the sun shine into your heart and into your home, and I guarantee you nothing but positive results. A sober today makes a better tomorrow. And if you believe what I'm telling you in here and in your heart, it will become so clear in your home, in your mind. It all starts with you. Help your neighbors, be good to others, treat your wife, your husband, your parents, your children with love and respect, and you will become a better person. I say this every time. Please have a sober day for a better tomorrow, but more importantly, have a sober weekend coming up. And God bless you.
Take your life back.
Good morning and welcome to Take Your Life Back. Today is September 4th. It's about 3:30 in the morning. I just want to share with everyone something this morning. I saw a demonstration maybe about a month ago in reference to our dark side and the power of prayer. If you continuously pray over and over and over again, things will eventually become clear. Although a lot of times when we pray to God, we don't get answers right away. But if you continuously pray over and over, things become clear. So the demonstration involves this bottle, and if you see, the inside of this bottle is all dark liquid. That represents our dark side. And this cap represents our limitations. So we as a human, which is the bottle, have limitations, which is this cap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this bottle into the sink and we're going to do a demonstration. So let me put that there. I'm going to turn the camera around so that everybody can see it. And hopefully you folks can all see it now. Okay, so you see the bottle. I'm going to turn the water on. Okay, so now everything inside is dark, which represents our body and our inside. And what I'm going to do, and this clear water represents our prayer. So you see the continuous water running. I'm going to now, as the prayer, as we're praying, I'm going to lift our limitations, which is the cap. And we're going to slowly add our prayer to this. We all go through dark times. I mean, I've had some dark years. I just didn't understand everything that was happening. I'm going to admit it that I'm not a super patient person. I tend to want answers right away and know what's happening and what I can do to solve it. I don't like not being happy and confident about things. It's just not who I am. But when I get down, it takes a lot for me to get back up. If we pray for a sign, which is this, the water is prayer, but just give up because we feel like God's already heard our prayer and He knows what we need, but He hasn't answered. It's kind of like when we were kids in the toy store and we kept asking our mom and dad for toys, but we never got any results. Yeah, it never worked for me either, but you get what I mean. Anyway, that is exactly what's happened to me in the past years. I have prayed and prayed and prayed, but haven't really gotten any results. The answer I thought God would give me, and especially in the time of praying, I thought my problems would be fixed, which was all before 2013. Then in 2013, my cap of limitations was lifted. This is the cap, remember this now, was lifted off the bottle, which is my body. Here is where I will just show you how that worked for me. So basically we all have dark sides, which is what's in the bottle, was in the bottle. We are facing, and we take the limitations off our mind, which was the cap I lifted. Don't limit what He can do, because we have to just trust in the Lord. That sometimes even after we pray and we just give up, and it is often why we get defeated. However, even though nothing has really changed, we just keep praying. That's the prayer, the sign of the prayer, the flowing Lord. Just keep praying and never ever give up praying. And if we do that and devote ourselves completely to the Lord, He will pull us through. The dark times will go away, and we just have to be patient. I know it's hard. Being patient truly is a virtue. But by never ever giving up on prayer, it's going to show you that God will eventually answer all your prayer. And the more we pray, which is this water going into the bottle, one day everything will become clear. You see how clear this is now? That is the power of prayer. Folks, I think that demonstration says it all. If we had a bottle which represents our body, and the bottle, everything was dark on the inside, and the water coming out of the faucet represents the prayer, day after day after day, just keeps adding to the darkness which was in the bottle. Eventually all that prayer has to turn what was dark inside this bottle, which is our body, has to change and become as clear as this water in here. That, folks, is the power of prayer.